How's it going? I'm going to talk about music today. Playing guitar, playing piano maybe as well. How's it going? Welcome to the Hill of Beans. Isn't it, bro? Check that view. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, I'm going to talk a bit about music today. I've been playing guitar since I was 21. I'm now 50. That's a wee while, right? What I'm finding of late is that I'm not actually practicing as much as I would like, and I'm getting quite frustrated by that. So I wanted to explore that here and just see what comes out, because I wanted to know the answer. Back in 2001, I moved to Luxembourg. I got my first really nice guitar, and our daughter was born 2004. And around about that time, I was on the guitar forums all day long. Some days when I was at work, I would be sitting looking at guitar forums back and forth. I was contributing. I was even started my own, right, Celtic Guitar Talk, which became quite popular. Folk were coming on and posting sheet music, and there was good conversation, and I got to meet some amazing folk. And then I started a song circle. I wanted to play with other folk. I was part of a group called Creative Workshop? I can't even remember the exact name of the thing, but it was something like that. And as part of that, I set up a song circle. So we used to meet in Luxembourg city centre, and we would get together for a jam, and that was brilliant. And through that, I got to meet the musical community in Luxembourg City, and I ended up going out to Oscar's Bar down in the Ground for open mic sessions, and that was really when I first started performing. So I was doing open mics, I think it was one a month, and then I was travelling to America. I was going over there every year to jam with pals that I'd met on the internet. Imagine that. So I was deep in the stack. I was learning loads of stuff, bluegrass stuff, Celtic fingerstyle stuff. I was going through Tony McManus material, learning new pieces. I was having a ball, and it was, you know, when the kids were young. Somehow you would think that's when you would have less time, but for me it wasn't. There was a fire in me to play, and whether I had a good day or bad day was determined by how much playing I had done that day. So that's how my life was. And then we moved to Arran here in 2008, started a new business, and after that my playing kind of took a turn. It was a while before I got back to it. Well, a few months. I didn't play at all for a few months, and then I met a pal called Donald. He plays fiddle and guitar and likes bluegrass, and I started going to, well, they're not called open mics here, they're called sessions. So it was like open sessions, you just turn up, there's no plugging in or anything, it was just acoustic singing, folk stuff, and you know, that's when I started jamming with Donald a wee bit, and it was really the first time I'd ever played with other folk. And I ended up quite soon after that joining a bluegrass band. And so, you know, my musical life was actually quite rich and varied then, now that I think back on it. Getting into playing with Donald, which I still do. In fact, I'm playing with him next week. But the point of this exploration is that I find myself not burning with desire to play. Or do I? You see, if I did feel that way, I would, right? Wouldn't I? I'd be playing all the time. The desire's still there, it's still strong. It's other stuff that seems to get in the way. And that's probably because I'm letting it get in the way. There's loads of stuff that seems to take precedence over playing guitar. And recently I made a video on here about coming to understand what I would do with my time if I didn't ever have to work again. It came in the back of trying to help our autistic son figure out what he wants to do with his life. And I put that question to him, which made me think about it, and the conclusion I came to was that I would play music all day. And recently I was down watching a classical pianist called Gamal Khamis, playing at Arran High School, And as he was playing, I was thinking, oh man, that Mozart sounds amazing. I'd love to lock myself away for a couple of months and just learn how to play like that, you know. That would probably take more than a couple of months, but you know what I mean. So then it got me thinking about my guitar, and I was like, well, why don't I do that with my guitar? And one of the things that gets me down when I think about my progress over the last 10 years is that when I go out and play a gig now, I'm playing stuff I've been playing for 10 years. There's really no new stuff in there. And I don't know why that is. A few months ago, I did a video of myself learning a new piece, which is something that I'd first heard at one of these jams I was just talking about in America that I used to go to. A song called Love at the Five and Dime by Nancy Griffiths. First heard it being sung by Joe Jordan, and it moved me to tears. So a few months ago I sat down, Saturday afternoon, turned the camera on and did a live stream. I might have done, I can't even remember. But I sat there for a good couple of hours and learnt the song. And since then, do you know how many times I've played it? None at all. So what is that? This is a song I've been wanting to learn, 10 years at least. And I sit down and I get the bones of it going, and then I leave it alone and I don't go back to it. I don't know what that is. So this is maybe the kind of idea of resistance that's become so prevalent in my life, that, you know, if I want to make a video or write an article for my newsletter, I'll put it in my to-do list, and then I'll keep shifting it forward. Every morning I'll look at yesterday's to-dos and move yesterday's stuff to today. And that just keeps going and going and going. And it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. So it's something I'm trying to get my head around how to fix. A big part of it's time. I think a bigger part of it's money. Supporting the family. Working on content to try and help the family out of the current situation that we're in. And find a way of having time. And I think really now that I'm talking about it here, I'm kind of coming to understand that those days in Luxembourg, when I was playing, any free moments that I had, I was working a day job and we had young kids, you know, babies. But we weren't skint. We were doing all right. And I think that might be what's, well, maybe not the entire cause, but it's certainly part of it. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm also sure that the business that we bought when I moved here to Arran in 2008 kind of destroyed a lot of my mental health, which I'm still rebuilding. How I got through those 12 years without drinking, I don't know. Well, I do know it was through AA, pretty much. But it damaged my self-esteem in quite a big way, that job. So, and obviously my bank balance as well. So if I can find a way of, unlocking creativity, if I can find a way of getting back into playing music every day, I'd be really happy. And it might just be something so simple as deciding at 10:30 every morning I'm going to play for half an hour, and just make that a thing that I do. That could work. And get rid of this waves thing that I'm in the middle of. I'll go through, I'll be like, right, I'm going to sign up to Artist Works. I'm going to join Brian Sutton's programme. I'm going to buy a year's membership, because that means I'll definitely do it because I've paid tons of money for it. I've done that 3 times and it's brilliant. The material's really good. The feedback you get from Brian Sutton is amazing. And I would do it for a month and then just no bother. Martin Taylor, I did the same thing with Martin Taylor because he had some great materials available. Theory stuff and jazz and all of that, and I was like, yeah, Martin Taylor, I'll sign up. This time I'll definitely do it. This time will be different. And it wasn't different, it was the same. And then recently, about 3 weeks ago, I signed up for the all access pass on Truefire so that I could get access to the Tommy Emmanuel catalogues. There's a bunch of them on there. And same thing, you know, I went through for about a week doing the lessons, and then, what is that? But I suppose one of the things I'm not seeing is the progress that I've made, because, you know, one never really sees the progress that one has made until one looks back at recordings and stuff like that. So one of the things I tell myself to make myself feel a wee bit better is, if I think about myself like 2008, 2009, if I imagine somebody saying to me then, aye, do you know, Cams, over the summer you'll probably be playing 2 or 3 nights a week live, getting paid for it, I would have been like, wow, you know, that would be amazing. And that's what happened. I was playing in 2 bands, and over summer we were getting sometimes 3 gigs a week and playing weddings, you know. So if I think about that, that helps me to feel like, wait a minute, I'm actually not doing too badly. And when I sit down and teach, that's another thing that shows me that I've actually got some knowledge that's that I've earned, you know, because I teach every week. I've got a pupil from Canada who's been with me for over a year now, and it's been really good for me. So maybe it's not all doom and gloom, but I do want to start adding repertoire. I do want to start getting creative and not so much playing what's gone before, but coming up with something new. So the idea I've had is to fire on some post-punk on my headphones, something like Mogwai, or maybe some ambient, you know, something like Richie Houghton and Pete Namlook, something like that, and plugging my electric into the Apollo Twin, firing up some reverb and some delay and stuff, and noodling along, record the noodling, and then I'll have a track of something that's kind of creative, based on something else but new, and that'll give me the basis of building tracks, you know, putting some ambient sound behind it, bird song, or, you know, train announcements, ferry announcements. That's kind of the idea I've been having, field recordings and firing them in, and that really excites me, and yet I still don't do it. I think to myself, will I fire on this, put my guitar in and listen to some Mogwai and record a bit? Or will I just look at Facebook and Twitter for an hour, go and do the dishes, cut the grass, fold the laundry, you know, life stuff. Aye. Anyway, if you've watched this far, thank you. I understand it was quite rambly, but it's useful for me to talk these things out on tape. So that's why I did it. Stay tuned if you want to hear some music. Can I put that out there? I think I just did.